go, and then okay. Before you turn up the volume, cool. Well, thanks. I'm gonna start with a song that I wrote for a fundraiser. I was told to. There's a wonderful public radio station in Connecticut, and they asked me to write a song. They said, we're going to have a holiday fundraiser for the winter holidays. And so you can write whatever you want about any of the kinds of holidays that happen in the winter. And so I did my research, and I was living in Northampton at the time, so I did my research there, and I came up with a sort of a Currier and Ives Christmas for the 90s. So this has the lights and the trees and the birds and the unexpected arrival of the lesbian relatives. So this is called The Christians and the Pagans. Called her uncle, said we're up here for the holiday. Jane and I were having solstice, now we need a place to stay. And her Christ-loving uncle watched his wife hang Mary on a tree. He watched his son hang candy canes all made with red dye number 3. He told his niece it's Christmas Eve, I know our life is not your style. She said Christmas is like solstice and we miss you and it's been a while. So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground the best that they were able. And just before the meal was served, hands were held and prayers were said, sending hope for peace on earth to all their gods and goddesses. The food was great, the tree plugged in, the meal had gone without a hitch, till Timmy turned to Amber and said, is it true that you're a witch? His mom jumped up and said the pies are burning, and she hit the kitchen, and it was Jane who spoke. She said, it's true, your cousin's not a Christian, but we love trees, we love the snow, the friends we have, the world we share, and you find magic from your gut, and we find magic everywhere. So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground the best that they were able. And where does magic come from? I think magic's in the learning, 'cause now when Christians sit with pagans, only pumpkin pies are burning. When Amber tried to do the dishes, her aunt said, really no, don't bother. Amber's uncle saw how Amber looked like Tim and like her father. He thought about his brother, how they hadn't spoken in a year. He thought he'd call him up and say it's Christmas and your daughter's here. He thought of fathers, sons, and brothers, saw his own son tug his sleeve, saying, can I be a pagan? Dad said, we'll discuss it when they leave. So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground the best that they were able. Lighting trees in darkness, learning new ways from the old, and making sense of history and drawing warmth out of the cold. This is a song. Is this all working okay? Is there something I should do or okay? This is a song I wrote for myself. This is called You're Aging Well, and I was a terrific nerd in high school, but you know, I think all of us were to some extent. And are you guys in high school? I'm sorry, I just
put my foot in my mouth. But it's just that things get so much better, and nobody tells you that. And so I sort of wanted to start this word of mouth movement. And sometimes you see really nice progressive things written in magazines these days, in nice progressive fashion magazines. But they're always next to these pictures of anorexic teenagers, so I thought that wasn't really a good way to get the word out. So I decided to go through this stage by stage kind of thing.
Why is it that as we grow older and stronger, the road signs point us adrift and make us afraid, saying you never can win? Watch your back, where's your husband? I don't like the signs that the sign makers made. So I'm gonna steal out with my paint, my brushes. I'll change the directions, I'll hit every street. It's the Tinseltown scandal, the Robin Hood vandal. She goes out and steals the King's English. In the morning you wake up and the signs point to you. They say, I'm so glad you finally made it here, with the things you know now that only time can tell.
Chorus over because I sang it wrong.
I'm so glad you finally made it here. You thought nobody cared, but I did, I could tell. And this is your year, and it always starts here. And oh, you're aging well. I know a woman with a collection of sticks. She could fight back the hundreds of voices she heard. She could poke at the greed, she could fend off her need, and with anger she found she could pound every word. But one voice got through and caught her up by surprise. It said, don't hold us back with the story you tell. And no sooner than spoken, the spell had been broken, and the voices before her were trumpets and timpani, violins, basses, and woodwinds and cellos, singing, we're so glad you finally made it here. You thought nobody cared, but we did, we could tell. And now you'll dance through the days while the orchestra plays. And you're aging well. Now when I was 15, all I knew it was over. The road to enchantment was not mine to take, 'cause lower calf, upper arm should be half what they are. I was breaking the laws that the sign makers made, and all I could eat was the poisonous apple. And that's not a story I was meant to survive. And I was all out of choices, but the woman of voices, she turned round the corner with music around her. She gave me the language that keeps me alive. She said, I'm so glad she finally made it here, where the things you know now that only time can tell. Looking back, seeing far, landing right where we are. And oh, you're aging, oh,
Thank you. This is called Traveling Again.
Have I got everything? Am I ready to go? Is it gonna be right? Is it gonna be the best time? Or am I just a saying so? Am I ready to go? What do I hear when I say I hear the call of the road? I think it started with driving. More speed, more deals, more sky, more wheels, more things to leave behind. And now it's all in a day for the modern mind, and I am traveling again. I'm calling this a ghost town, and where is the heartland? And I'm afraid of, was there any good reason that I had to go? When all I know is I can never come back. Traveling I made a friend, he had a trouble in his head, and all he could say is that he knew that the bottle drank the woman from his bed, from his bed. He said, I'm not gonna lose that way again. But sober is just like driving. More joy, more dread. Someone turns her head and smiles and disappears. He's gonna take it like it is, and it goes too fast. And he is just like me, caught in between. No sage advisor, does weary mean wiser? And someday will I sing the mountains that carried me away, away from home and hometown boys like you. Yeah, what about us? Was it really that bad? Oh, it's hard to believe I want a highway road stuff more than all the times we on little dirt roads. What am I reaching for that's better than a hand to hold? Really was about driving, not fame, not wealth, not driving away from myself. It's just myself drove away from me. And now I gotta get it back, and it goes so fast. So I am traveling again, sitting at the old lake, picking up a pen, and I'm afraid, oh, was there any good reason that I had to go? When all I know is I am all alone again. And you are the ghost town, and I am the heartland, and I can say, oh, that's a very good reason that I had to go. Now all I know is I can never come back, and I will never go back.
This is a very new song. It's just called This Was Pompeii. And I wrote it after I finally got to the library to read about Pompeii after I'd written most of the song. It was just one of these flukes where the library kept on being closed on a Thursday in Amherst and Wednesday in Northampton, and I just and a special librarian's day one day, and so when I finally got there, I had my own story so much in this song that I just found the story of Pompeii to be devastating. I took it really personally, and so I finished up the song. So Pompeii kind of came at the end of this, and I think the reason I picked it up was because I realized as a musician somewhere along the way that the places where I'd been playing over the last couple of years all had very precarious situations, and financially and even emotionally. And that was quite touching to me, because a lot of times these things are done on, concerts are put on by volunteer efforts and very heroic people who want to keep music out there, competing against television sets and Arnold. So I finally was able to finish the song for that too.
I think about the woman in a century of peace. On a bright mosaic, she is washing on her knees, and she looks up at the black sky beyond the mountain top. She says, oh good, the rain is finally going to fall today. This was Pompeii. And everyone has memories from the night that melted stone, the neighbor's nightgown, the screaming on the phone, and the tired man at the station said we can't tell who's alive. All we ever know is that the tourists survived. Tra-la, tra-la, that's all they say. Let's go, Pompeii. And I think about Pompeii when I feel an end is near, just before the rain and every time you disappear. And I think about a teacup suspended and half served, and all the scholars know is that it's perfectly preserved. Oh, that's all they say. This was Pompeii. As for my own kingdom, not a table leg was charred. I simply lost my kingdom, 'cause I held it much too hard. Once I had a sadness, the sadness turned to trust. The trust turned into ashes, and to lawyers and to dust. A century, a day. This was Pompeii. This was Pompeii.
Thanks. This is another new song that I put down for a while because I felt like I was a one-woman mission to convince everybody that this song was very true. This is called Southern California Wants to Be Western New York. And a friend of mine was showing me around, I think it was Claremont or Pasadena or something in Southern California, and he said, this house is 75 years old. And I just thought, the plumbing in Western New York is 75 years old. And there was something, I was in Western New York, and I was doing a concert and somebody said, I was staying at somebody's house and they said, we have to warn you that the wallpaper's coming off a little bit because of the snow. And it's just been one of those winters. I think it's always one of those winters in Western New York. And I was so used to, in my town, when somebody says the house is kind of messy, it means that, you know, there's a magazine on the couch. And when I went there, I was expecting that it'd be a little waterlogged, and the wallpaper had just come right off the wall, and all the sinks were dripping. And that, to me, there was something very comforting to me about the fact that this is the way things are, as far as I've seen in Utica and Binghamton, and yet everybody who I met had their heart in a pretty neat place, because they knew that there they were in Western New York.
There's a part of the country could drop off tomorrow in an earthquake. Yeah, it's out there on the cutting edge. The people move, the sidewalks shake, and there's another part of the country with the land that gently creaks and thuds, where the heavy snows make faucets leak. In bathrooms with freestanding tubs, they're in houses that are haunted with the kids who lie awake and think about all the generations past who used to use that dripping sea. And sometimes one place wants to slip into the other just to see what it's like to trade its demons for the restless ghost of Mrs. Ogilvy. She used to pick the mint from her front yard to dress the Sunday pork. Sometimes Southern California comes to be Western New York. Wants to have a family business in sheet metal or power tools, and it wants to have a diner where the coffee tastes like diesel fuel, and it wants to find the glory of a land they say has hit the skids, and it wants to have a snow day that will turn its parents into kids, and it's embarrassed, but it's lusting after a SUNY student with mousy brown hair who is taking out the compost, making coffee in long underwear. Southern California says to save a place, I'll meet you there, and it tried to pack up its Miata. All it could fit was a prayer. Sometimes the stakes are bogus, sometimes the fast lane hits a fork, sometimes Southern California wants to be Western New York. Tempe, Arizona thinks the Everglades are greener and wetter, and Washington, D.C. thinks that Atlanta integrated better, but I think that Southern California has more pain than these can say, 'cause it wants to travel back in time, but it just can't leave LA. But now I hear they got a theme park planned, designed to make you gasp and say, oh, I bet that crumbling vista was a booming mill town in its day. And old investors scoff at this, but the young ones hope they'll take a chance, and they promise it will make more dough than Mickey Mouse in northern France. And the planners got an opening day, a town historian will host, and the waitresses look like waitresses who want to leave for the West Coast. And they got buttering on rainy weekends, autumn days that make you feel sad. They got 100-year-old shutters and the family you never had, and a Hudson River cleanup concert and a bundle-bearing stork. And I hear they got a menu planned. It's Stray Western New York. Western New York.
It's true, isn't it? I think the Southern Californians are going to have to do a support group. Well, this is a song I wrote because I was going across some part of America, and I wanted to do a song. I wanted to write a song about my family, and I kept on reading about all these sort of minor toxic waste spills in various towns that I would drive through. It just seemed to be something that was uniting them, and I wanted to write a song about nuclear waste. And so I only really had one melody running through my head, so I put them in the same song and came up with what I call my song about America. Perhaps appropriately titled The Great Unknown.
Once upon a time, there was a nuclear family, and we lived in family time. We'd unite in a family way.
That's very...
And up in the ancient mountain, they were splitting every nucleus, but they said, don't be alarmed. They said, just don't try this at home. And they were the mystery that made the world run, and we had the power 'cause they were the sun, and we called them our heroes. And the future had come. They said, look at the light we're giving you, and the darkness that we're saving you from it. Soon they were bringing it into our showrooms, and they'd unveil it with its title, Bring Your Family, Bring Your Family. It's the great unknown. You can look, but you can't fathom. It's the great unknown. I'm no ordinary princess. I was born in the Cold War, and my team is the Rockets. Go team, it's a dangerous time. And I dream of the moon and building lunar clone colonies, and I build my peace through strength. That's the best weapon you got. Oh, I am the brainchild, I am the mortar with a plastic trophy and an eating disorder and a vision as big as the great big wall. And they tell me that I'll move forward for the good of us all and for the good of nuclear families. Oh, they think I am important. I know I never was, I wasn't, no I never. And how could I be? It's the great unknown. Now we've built it, now it's ticking. It's the great unknown. And I am your children, and I am millions. And I wanted to sell out, I wanted to try, but you know that the sky got too low and the ocean got too high, and I had to take God into my own hands. Am I too late? Is it over? Have I sacrificed my family to the great unknown? There's a war between my conscience and the great unknown. So I walked out into the gamma fields out in Mercury, Nevada, where I stood in a circle, and that circle started to pray. And now the wind at the nuclear test site floats the data of the radiation from the underground testing. Cross the line, you'll get arrested. And we came from all over in a silent appeal as the drill comes down like a presidential scene. And we stand for the living, and we stand for the dead, and we looked out to see our enemies, and we see that you're looking at us instead. And you think I am being disruptive, but no, I'm running home, I'm running, 'cause I'm trying to put the atom back together. It's the great unknown. I'm just trying to put the atom back together. It's the great unknown.
I don't know where Hannah has disappeared off to. Oh gosh, spotlight at an early age. I didn't mean to do that. That wasn't very nice of me. This is a song called "The Babysitter's Here." That's why I was hoping that you'd be out here, because it kind of applies. Except it has this thing in it called a hippie. I don't know if you're familiar with what a hippie is. They wear great clothes, and our babysitter was a hippie. And I wrote this song a couple years ago, but I realized that I wrote it in response to what I call the Barney children. Have you guys seen Barney? It's just, you know, I don't know about Barney himself or itself, but the kids are all trained to learn all these dance steps and all these lines, and they have this big smile on their face the whole time that's like this. They always say, "What's next, Barney?" And I have a sense that they're not real children, or that they're not being allowed to be real children, and that they are going to be writing these horrible memoirs when they're 10 years old about the Barney days. Real kids are very dynamic. They really love anything that comes out of your body, and they don't stay very clean, and that's just part of the package. And actually, someone who is about Hannah's age, and you don't have to, but one of the last times I played, there was a girl who was doing an interpretive dance of my material. So it was a little distracting, actually, because it was very, she was very good at it, and very expressive. So our babysitter got it. She really understood that we were real kids. And she was a real woman. She was 17, and she was a real woman. So this is for her.
Tonight was just great. She taught us the sign for peace. Now she's made us some popcorn. We've turned out the lights and we're watching movies I don't understand, and she tries to explain how a spaceship is riding through somebody's brain, and there's blood and guts and she's the best one that we've ever had. She sits on her hair and she's tall as my dad, and she tie-dyed my shirt and she pierced her own ear, and it's peace, man, cool. Yeah, the babysitter's here. Her boyfriend is Tom, but we call him the king of romance. He wears an American flag on the butt of his ripped up pants. And will they get married with kids of their own? He says not if she's going to college, we won't. And he kisses her. Oh, someday I'll have a boyfriend just like that. She's the best one that we've ever had. She sits on her hair and she's tall as my dad, and she got mad at dinner when Tom drank a beer. But peace, man, cool. Hey, the babysitter's here. And we all went to see her go dance at the high school. We made her a big card, and she told us that she'd be the unicorn wearing the pink leotard. And there she was leaping up just like she said, with a sparkling horn coming out of her head. And she's I can't wait to give her the card. I can't wait to give her the card. She's the best one. Okay, so the play was called Unicorn, and she was the unicorn. So that means that the star was
My babysitter.
But it's Saturday night, I can't sleep, and we're watching the news. She says, do me a favor, don't go with a guy who would make you choose. And I don't understand, and she tries to explain, and all that mascara runs down in her pain, 'cause she's leaving me. You're the best one that we've ever had. You sit on your hair and your doll is my bed. And I'll make you a picture for college next year. So hush now, peace, man. The babysitter's here. The best babysitter's here.
This is called Mark Rothko's song. You know who Mark Rothko is? He's something called an abstract expressionist painter, which is sort of the same as the My Kids Could Do That paintings. And so I was in a Mark Rothko room recently with a bunch of his paintings in it, and they were really, I was very drawn to them for some reason, and you know, I wrote the song too. So I was talking to a friend about him at one point, and she said, you know, he was misunderstood. He had a sort of bad, untimely end, and she said, oh well, I mean, he's lazy. I don't like him. He was a bad figure drawer. And I was like, this is Mark Rothko. I mean, people make fun of him, but he was good at what he did. And she said, I just think he was a lazy artist. And I told my friend, another friend, that, and she said, yeah, my ex-boyfriend said, yeah, he's a lazy artist. He was a bad figure drawer. Everyone knows that. And we were both horrified. And so then I realized that my friend and her ex-boyfriend would probably make a really good couple, and that they would be the kind of people who would go to restaurants and be like, ugh, this is terrible. Let's send it, this is a terrible restaurant. This is a terrible waitress. This is terrible food. Let's send it back. I didn't ask for my steak this way. So in the meantime, I have sort of dedicated this song to my friends who have been in the arts and have had some of them really a very humiliating time, or sometimes a very wonderful, exhilarating time. I have choreographer friends who have been through many things and many strange jobs to support that, and director friends and writer friends who just disappear for periods of time, and I respect them for trying to find their own voice. It takes a long time. So some of them are emerging now, and they're looking a lot happier than they did a couple years ago, and they've stopped wearing so much black.
The blue it speaks so full, it's like the beauty one can barely stand, or too much things dropped in your head. And there's a green like a piece in your heart, sometimes painted underneath the sheets of ashy snow. And there's a blue like where the urban angels go, very bright. Now the colder by a more fake sphere. Then it swings its dangling pieces round to other paintings here. Your behavior is so male, it's like you can't explain yourself to me. I think I'll ask Renoir to tea. For his flowers are as real as they are all the time, and the sunlight sets the furniture aglow. It's a pleasant time as far as people go. How far do they go? Well, his roses are perfect and his words have no wings. I know what he can give me, and I'd like to know these things. She said, I don't know what he meant to me, I just know he affected me. An effect not unlike his art, I believe. The service starts and we are in the know. He had so much to say, but more to show, and ain't that true of life? So we weep for a person who lived at great cost. Yet we barely knew his powers till we sensed what we had lost. A friend and I in a museum room, she says, look at Mark Rothko's side. Did you know about his suicide? Some folks were born with a foot in the grave, but not me, of course. And she smiles as if to say we're in the know. Then she names the coffee place where we can go uptown. Now the painting is desperate, but the crowds wash away. In a world of kind pedestrians who've seen enough today.
In such a way that my shirt tends to spill open a little bit. Didn't want you to think I was trying to sell myself in a sleazy manner. Speaking of which, this is my New England song, and actually a lot of New England songs are very foliage oriented, although actually at this point New England doesn't have as beautiful foliage as you right now. It's really been stunning to drive around this state over the last couple of days. But usually, you know, we have the tourist reputation for the foliage up in New England, and the maple syrup reputation. And this, we also have the reputation of in my heart, of having a certain kind of person. This is sort of straight from the land of the L.L. Bean catalog. This is called A Flinty Kind of Woman, and it's kind of a rocker. Well, it's not really a rocker, but I might want to warn the sound system dude, Jim, that it kind of rocks. It's about a posse of PTA mothers, New England PTA mothers, who hunt down a man who's exposed himself to their children, and I sort of have to channel my foremothers for this song. I wanted it to sound like a sea shanty, which would sort of be more New Englandy, and it sounds like rawhide. So if you want to do sort of a bullwhippy noise between verses, I don't have any sing-alongs. That's as communal as it gets. This is flinty kind of woman. It's a small town life and I like it, 'cause the bad don't get in your way. There's an angry God gonna strike it, yeah, that's what we pay him for, that's why we pray. Well, I guess the angry God, he was a-fishing when Molly called me up with the news. Within the space of a week, yeah, a pervert or a sex freak, let the kids take a peek. That's more than a little cheek, no pun intended. Going east to Mississippi, got a flinty kind of woman, and he don't act smart, and he don't touch my children if the young man wants to see the sun go down. Well, there was no time fooling with the trifles, so there was no use telling the men. They would just go running for the rifles, and then once you got 'em, couldn't get 'em again. So Peg got a bolt of fishing tackle, and Marge got her gardening clips, and Salabiche put her hound on a leash and a timer on the quiche. She's kinda nouveau riche, but we like her. Hey, baby, going east to Mississippi, got a flinty kind of woman, and he don't act fresh, and he don't touch my children if the young man wants to see the sun go down. It was the kids who spotted him a-running as we drove through the harbor fog, and that's when we got our engines gunning, 'cause we knew he was heading for the cranberry bog. We got our hip-high rubber boots strapped on, and Molly got the big flashlights out, and by the welcome to New England sign, got him with the fishing line in the dark smell of brine. Betty said, "This one is mine. She is ruthless." Hey, baby, going east to Mississippi, got a flinty kind of woman, and just say no, and you don't touch my children if the young man wants to see the sun go down. Well, we didn't have to drag him in or jail him, 'cause you don't have to take it so far. When your roots go back to Old Salem, and you got a local chapter of the DAR. And now I don't go tooting on my lobsters, 'cause your pride doesn't go with your plaid. But it's a victory won, and it couldn't be done by the hippy-dippy, flicky, shaky fun in the sun. Brawless wonders. Aye, baby, aye, going east to Mississippi, got a flinty kind of woman, and you know your place, and you don't touch my children if the young man wants to see the sun go down. If the young man wants to see the sun go down. I recently played that song in Maine, and my aunt was in the audience, and she was really the inspiration for that song. She has every sized LL Bean tote bag there is, and she loved it. She said, "Damn straight," so that was great. This is gonna. Oh, okay, it's not gonna change gears too extremely. We have a bar that burnt down in my college town called Sal's, and this is called When Sal's Burned Down, and I never went to Sal's. I was a freshman, and everybody started walking around the first few weeks of school saying, "Sal's burned down, Sal, what are we going to do? Sal's burned down." And I realized very quickly that Sal's was a special place, and that it was a place where students could actually talk to students, which is sometimes rare, and professors could talk with students, which is very rare to some extent, and people from the town could talk with students, which was very important because the town was good that way. You know, it was important not to get things too separated. And so after that, there was this other bar that we went to, and that closed down, and then there was a restaurant that was, you know, open past 9, and that closed down. And then there was this Dunkin' Donuts, and that was there the whole time and is still there. And so nobody knows who burned down Sal's. There is a theory. There's a mafia theory at work. my theory is that since there was this campus center that was built like a year before Sal's burned down, and it was about as ugly as a campus center could get, and it was very mauve and turquoise, and it didn't have any place where you could actually meet, and the food was not very communally inspiring. And so I'm wondering where the food service was the night that Sal's burned down. That's just my personal theory. But the Mafia made it into the song because that was more of the mythos of the town.
Are we the fools for being surprised that a silence could end with no sound? Like the silent movie, or like with snow, like when cells burned down. Well, yeah, there was noise, but nothing to mark the passing on.
It's so funny, I was actually gonna like invite him in with a little smile. Don't worry, he didn't throw a bomb or anything. It was just like, I think he just needed his quota of bad behavior. You don't have to get mad at him or anything. He's gone. Let's see. Sorry he scared you. It's kind of nice. I mean, my town is sort of overrun by college students at this point, and there's something kind of nice and small townish about somebody opening up a door, screaming something in a concert and running away. I miss it.
Are we the fools for being surprised that a silence could end with no sound? Like the silent movie era, like with snow, like when cells burned down. Well, yeah, there was noise, but nothing to mark the passing on of that great unspoken chance we had found, where the nights and came well trod and familiar, like the Charlie Chaplin walk that fades to black. Trying to sell their souls, they were only trying to buy them back. They were only trying to buy them back. Well, yeah, there was a Sal. He walked with bulging pockets round town. Either he was up to no good or he just got excited watching things burn down. But I guess he got the idea if you hold a chunk of gold in your hand now, for once in your life you can throw some weight around and sell your slime ball sellout. How can we blame you? We all want something to put our fingers on. Never know the true throne that you've lost till the final bar stools are gone. Till the final bar stools are gone. Toss around some words, you might say that Sal was carrying a torch for the mob, but the mob's gone too. Yeah, the only sign of them left is on every screen at the multiplexes.
This sort of has the same sinister beginning as the Mark Rothko song. This was based on another big sprawling drive I took through the United States. I was passing through Boulder, Colorado, and I was listening to a radio show, and there was a spokesperson from Normal on NPR. Do you know what Normal is? It's not very sophisticated. It's just the organization to legalize marijuana. And he was saying, you know, they say that pot makes you spacey and flaky, and it's just not true. And I just thought that was an unfortunate spokesperson for Normal. And so I was thinking about all the people who really want to have marijuana legalized. There's some people who are very interested in the issues of it, and then there's other people who are very interested in the access to marijuana. And so these two voices sort of were up in my head, and they became lovers, and they floated into this beautiful pastoral college setting. And this was the result.
I'm not a leader, I'm not a left-wing rhetoric mobilizing force of one. But there was a time way back many years ago in college. Don't laugh, but I thought I was a radical. I ran the Hemp Liberation League with my boyfriend. It was true love with a common cause, and besides that he was a Sagittarius. We used to say that our love was like hemp rope, 3 times as strong as the rope that you buy domestically. And we would bond in the face of oppression from big business and the deans. But I knew there was a problem. Every time the group would meet, everyone would light up. They made it difficult to discuss glaucoma and human rights, not to mention chemotherapy. Well, sometimes life gives us lessons sent in ridiculous packaging. And so I found him in the arms of a student against the treacherous use of fur. And he gave no apology, he just turned to me, stoned out to the edge of oblivion. He didn't pull up the sheets, and I think he even smiled as he said to me, well, I guess our dreams went up in smoke. And I said, no, our dreams went up in dreams, you stupid pothead. And another thing, what kind of a name is Students Against the Treacherous Use of Fur? Fur is already dead, and besides, a name like that doesn't make a good acronym. I am older now, I know the rise and gradual fall of a daily victory. And I still write to my senators saying they should legalize cannabis. And I should know, 'cause I am a horticulturist. I have a husband and 2 children out in Lexington, Mass. And my ex-boyfriend can't tell me I've sold out, because he's in a cult and he's not allowed to talk to me.
Clowns. That's how I know that I got it right. This is a somewhat new song. This is called February, and I wrote it last January. I just guessed. And it really is in regard to something that happened in another month, but to protect the name of that month, this is called February. It brings in what I call the personal politics of winter.
I threw your keys in the water. I look back, they'd frozen halfway down in the ice. They froze up so quickly, the keys and their owners. Even after the anger, it all turned silent. Then every day turned solitary. So we came to February. First we forgot where we'd planted those bulbs last year, and then we forgot that we planted it all. Then we forgot what plants are all together, and I blamed you for my freezing and forgetting, and the nights were long and cold and scary. Can we live through February? You know, I think Christmas was a long red glare shut up like a warning. We gave presents without cards, and then the snow, and then the snow came. We were always out shoveling, and we dropped to sleep exhausted, and we wake up and it's snowy. And February was so long that it lasted into March and found us walking a path alone together. You stopped and pointed and you said, "That's a crocus." And I said, "What's a crocus?" And you said, "It's a flower." I tried to remember, but I said, "What's a flower?" You said, "I still love you." The leaves were turning as we drove to the hardware store. My new lover made me keys to the house. And when we got home, well, we just started chopping wood, 'cause you never know how next year will be. And we'll gather all our arms can carry. I have lost to February.
finish with this song. This is a song about my childhood. I want to thank you all for coming tonight. I know I was told what you sacrificed to come here. That's very nice of you. I always got frostbite at my football games I went to, so maybe you're not you could have been sacrificing your fingers there. I used to be a big football player. And then when I was about 12, I was playing football, and I was playing with the guys, and the girls had sort of gone off and were starting to do things like, hang out and talk to each other, and that was nice. But I really loved football, and somebody and that's what I'd done, in elementary school before coming to the big middle school, which was such a scary place. And somebody threw a football at my stomach, and, I sort of doubled over, and someone said, "Alex, that's a girl." And that sort of, something ended then, and I knew that I could never play football with the guys. And so I guess that's when a part of the childhood died. This is called When I Was a Boy.
I won't forget when Peter Pan came to my house, took my hand. I said I was a boy, I'm glad he didn't check. I learned to fly, I learned to fight, I lived a whole life in one night. We saved each other's lives out on the pirate deck. And I remember that night when I'm leaving a late night with some friends, and I hear somebody tell me it's not safe, someone should help me. I need to find a nice man to walk me home. When I was a boy, I scared the pants off of my mom, climbed what I could climb up. And I don't know how I survived. I guess I knew the tricks that all boys do. And you can mock me, but I was a boy too. Was a kid that you would like, just a small boy on her bike, riding topless. Yeah, I never cared who saw. My neighbor came outside to say, "Get your shirt." I said, "No way, it's the last time. I'm not breaking any law." Now I'm in this clothing store, and the signs say less is more. More that's tight means more to see. More for them, not more for me. That kid helped me climb a tree, 10 seconds flat when I was a boy. See that picture, that was me, grass-stained shirt and dusty knee. And I know things are gonna change. They got pills to sell, they got implants to put in, they got implants to remove. But it's a secret I can't keep, except when I'm tired, except when I'm being cut off guard. I've had a lonesome, awful day. The conversation finds its way to catching fireflies out in the backyard. And so I tell the man I say now you're Top Gun, I've lost and you have won. He says, oh no, no, can't you see? When I was a girl, my mom and I, we always talked. I picked flowers everywhere that I walked. And I could always cry. Now even when I'm alone, I seldom do. And I have lost some kindness, but I was a girl too, and you were just like me, and I was just like you.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Let's have a big round of applause for Dar Williams, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh. Do you want me to do an instrumental? Is that why? Actually, thank you for having me back, so I got a chance to thank David, both for putting together this show and for opening tonight. That was great. Thank you. I was clapping backstage, and I didn't think you'd get a chance to see that. So this is actually. This is a song by Lyle Lovett. Aside from other things that we know him for, he's a very good songwriter. This is called Closing Time.
The night she's a true companion. You shuffling, you hear the sound. But by night's end, it's nights abandoned. You look across the floor, there ain't anyone around. Closing time, unplug them people and send them home. It's closing time. But Kenny's been mixing sound all evening. Sometimes I think that boy, he ain't got no ears. And Kathy's laughing, Kathy's always laughing. Keep on laughing, Kathy, just make it out of here. Closing time, unplug them people and send them home. It's closing time, closing time. Oh, unplug them people and send them home. It's closing time. Stack those chairs up on the table. Stack those empties up on the bar. Count your money and count my money. Hear them bottles ringing, you know where you are. Closing time, unplug them people and send them home. It's closing time, closing time. Oh, unplug them people and send them home. It's closing time. Night's all that's left behind. You go your part and I'll go mine, and go on home. It's closing time.
Thank you.